Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudo Crochet and More. This is finally finished. I will show you this in a second. I don't know how I'll be able to show it to you all. This was from box 3. I chose to do the shawl. Okay, here's what it's supposed to look like. Now granted, they do tell you that not all the colors. See if that'll focus. There we go. So this isn't a multicolor. And I got a solid color, which is fine. I love the yarn. It worked up, it felt great. It didn't have any irritation from using it. I did use a slightly larger hook, so I did not have enough to do this part right here, the edging. So the edging was skipped, but this is what I had left over after using 3 balls, donuts, and this is, I have to weave in my ends still, of course, you know, that last thing to do. So this does, to me, it's more like a shawlette. It's not a very big shawl, but that's okay. And there's that side. But I was able to do everything up until the edging. So I'm pretty happy about that. The only thing that I would like to mention about this pattern is that it gives you up to a certain count. And I'm just going to show you this real quick. See all my scribblings here. So I had to figure out, because after row 35, see if that'll focus. Come on, focus. It tells you after row 35 to do rows from 36 to 43 to repeat rows 24 to 31. So you kind of have to know how to math starting off by using what you have, the last count from row 35, which I did find a couple mistakes in there, and I'm not sure if they were actual mistakes or if it was just me, but then you have to figure out when you go back to do the repeat how many stitches on each side you should have. So it took me a lot longer. I actually had to start over because I was on my second donut ball of yarn, and I'm like, this doesn't look right. I had to go back and fix a couple rows because I missed some of them. Sorry about that. But again, you know, I really wanted to do the hat pattern, but I've never worked with this thin of yarn, which is, I do believe, was considered a 2-weight. Let me see, or a 3-weight. I don't remember. Let me see here. This has got to be it. This has to be it, but it doesn't tell you the size. I think this one was it. And I don't remember where I may have put the band. This might be from my last, because they had I thought they had the size of the yarn on here. But to me, this was like a 2-weight yarn. Now, the yarn that I am working on the box 4, which was, the video for that unboxing was last week. You can go back and check that one out. I am working on that one currently. That one shouldn't take me too long because I decided to do the beginner pattern. And it's not bad at all. And it's just the fun of having something different to work with. Different yarn, different patterns. You know, working on your, getting up in your skill level. Now I am an affiliate with Hooks and Needles. I always have the link in the description box below. So if you want to check them out, you're more than welcome to. Now this one, I've only done the crochet box. I don't do knitting. I've tried to get back into it. I used to knit a long time ago, like when I was in middle school. I learned how to knit. I don't even know how I learned how to knit. If it was school or if it was I just was able to pick it up, but I do not remember anything from knitting. So I have not tried the knitting box. But they do offer 3 different types of boxes: the crocheting box, knitting box, and the amigurumi box. And I go ahead here and see if I can pull up hooks. There we go. I always do not have this memorized. And you think I would by now. But no. Okay. Okay. So the crochet box or knit box, they're both $33.97 per month plus taxes and shipping. And you do get the option, if you want to, during checkout to add 2 extra mystery yarns to the box. I do that. It's $14.97 extra. You don't have to do that because you can try that for your first box. If you don't, you don't like it, you can always cancel that part of the subscription. You can also pause your subscription at any time and then restart it when you need to. So like in the summertime, if you're busy with vacations, you can take a break for those months and then come back when you're ready to. It's not a lock-in type of deal. The other thing is that they do offer amigurumi boxes or bags. I think they look more like a bag to me, but they call it a subscription box, which is okay. Those are $29.97, again, plus any taxes and shipping. And you also get everything that you need in those to complete the project, because I do believe they only give you 1 project. I still need to reach out to them to find out if they could send me 1 as a complimentary to show you guys. I know that Creative Grandma has shown the amigurumi box, but she hasn't shown one in a while. So maybe I'm gonna reach out to them after this video and see if they'll be willing to send me that so I can show you guys an amigurumi subscription box and what you get inside of it. And again, you do not have to do this. If you're looking for something different, something new to try, if you're looking to try different yarns, these are luxurious yarns. So I don't think for the price that you pay, it's all that expensive, because if you were to go to a yarn store, you could pay that price for just the yarn and nothing else, especially if it's hand-dyed luxury yarn. All right, and then they also have the prepaid plan. So you can choose the crochet knit box or the knit and crochet box and pay for it all up front. Again, if you do that, then you can also pause your subscription anytime and then restart it when you need to, and you're not losing any money that you paid into it. So, all right. I think that's about it. I'm just glad I was able to finish this because it was very frustrating after the repeat. I'm going to suggest, if you guys watch my videos, from Hooks and Needles, I think it's Emma from Hooks and Needles, when you suggest to do a repeat from previous rows, my suggestion would be to put in there, when you're working on this row, you should have this many stitches, and you don't have to rewrite the instructions. Just notate if it's this. So for row 36, you could have put, like, after this ending on row 36, you'd have so many stitches. How many double crochets? How many chain 2 spaces? Just like it has before at the end of the written pattern here. But that's my only concern with this. If you're not if you're mathematically challenged and you're having trouble with figuring out how many stitches you should have, what it is after that, every row it increases by, let's see. Well, it really depends on what row you're on. I shouldn't say that because it doesn't always increase by the same amount. Because some rows you do just double crochets, other rows you do 3 double crochet together, other rows it's back post and front post. So it really just depends. That's my suggestion. I still love this subscription. This is the first subscription box that I've done with crochet. I don't think, honestly, I will try anybody else's unless you have one for me just as a suggestion to try at least once. And I will see if I can do that. I cannot promise that it will be done, but I will see if I can do that 1 month is try someone else's and see how the difference, because you get 3 patterns in the book from Hooks and Needles. You get your beginner, your intermediate, and your advanced, and you can do whichever one you want to try to do. Again, like I said, I was going to do the bucket hat. Let me show you a picture of that real quick. Bucket hat, bucket hat, bucket hat. Okay, so this is the bucket hat. And when I started out, I was having a really hard time seeing the stitches because it is a top-down bucket hat. I was having a really hard time seeing those stitches. I'm like, yep, that's not going to work. So that's why I went to the shawl, because it's not as tight with the stitches, I guess you could say. And that was considered a beginner. Now, to me, I would think, other than the math part, the shawl would be beginner to me. This would be more intermediate. But they classified how they see it, so. All right. Well, if you've tried Hooks and Needles, let me know what you thought of Hooks and Needles. If you've done any of the patterns in the books that you've gotten, have you tried the patterns with different yarns? Have you tried it with a thicker yarn? Have you tried it with a thinner yarn? Different coloring. Because it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use the yarn that they sent you for the patterns in the book. I'm going to try some of these patterns with bigger yarn, except for obviously the bucket hat, because you want to make sure, well, unless you know how to size it right, you wouldn't want to use a different size yarn for that, because it is a thinner yarn. It does tell you how the measurements on it, but that's just the height, and that's when it's done. It doesn't tell you the measurements, I don't think, for each round. Let me just double check that. Okay, yeah, it does not tell you, and that would be helpful too. So if you wanted to use this pattern with a maybe thicker yarn, like a 3-weight, you could do that. I mean, you might be able to still use a 3-weight and still get a decent size hat. But alright, again, let me know if you've tried Hooks and Needles, what you thought of it. What boxes have you gotten already, if you're still getting it? I noticed that I was watching somebody the other day, and they were talking about Hooks and Needles, and they said, I don't remember who it was, mentioned that everybody gets the same box. You just may start when you start at a different time, you start at a different box. But I still have not gotten the one with the lovey, the lovey in the bag, and I don't remember what was at the beginning. I think it was a headband or something like that. I still haven't gotten that box, but that's okay. Maybe I'll get it down the road. It's just that right now, this was the one that I got. So, alright. Well, I'm going to stop chatting now. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And until next time, I hope you all stay safe and stay crafty. Bye-bye.